everyone. Welcome to Seven Figure Annuity Sales. I am Chad Owen, and what are we going to call you today, Caleb?
I was wondering what my nickname would be today.
I don't know. Boy Wonder hasn't come around in a long time, though, but I don't really wonder anymore. I just go, oh, boy, I wonder. That's what happens now when I think of you.
Yeah.
It's like, boy, I wonder. It's not Boy Wonder anymore.
Oh, that's funny.
But yeah, it's you know what I love about these is none of these are scripted. We just sit there, we just kind of like, okay, what are we going to talk about today?
Yep.
And we do that intentionally though, because our business, man, who was I talking to? It was just recently. I was talking to my wife and I said, people don't realize how lonely this business can be. When you work for yourself and you're an independent agent, it's like, yeah, yay, I got a good sale.
Who's there to pat you on the back? Like no one.
You're just like, I'm going, okay, that was good. Oh man, I really worked that situation really good. That, a deal a few weeks ago. This lady has been trying to get her money out of this variable annuity. She's had it in 2002 is when this variable annuity started. And since 2012, she's been trying to get her money out of there. She's met with multiple agents, and nobody's been able to help her. And I got out of there within literally 3 minutes. I had the form emailed to her, filled out. It was a little bit more than 3 minutes, probably about 10 minutes, because we were finding out the M&E fee, the fund fee, the account value, the surrender value. Obviously, an annuity that old had no surrender value. But she goes, I can't believe you just did what I've been trying to do since 2012, and you did it in that time frame. It's like, I know what I'm doing, but it makes me think of all those people. And fortunately, she had a big dip in 2020, and she has almost come back to where that was. So we almost got her back to where her high point was. But then the 6% bonus and the particular product you used for her situation put her over that. So
Yep.
that was really good. But I just think about, what we get to do. And it's exciting when you get to figure something out that nobody else can.
Yeah. Can I the more that I watch agents and I see who has success and I see who doesn't have success, and I think more and more there's a huge piece that comes down to this one statement: the willingness to call. And it might be the willingness to call leads again and again and again, or it might be the willingness to call the transferring company. Yep. Like you insert the insurance company. Like, yep. I feel like sometimes agents, they try to do the business on an island. Yep. And it's like you can call the insurance companies that you work with, call the transferring company you're trying to move money from, call the leads that you've gotten and you called yesterday, but you haven't gotten in contact with them. Like, the more willing you are to make the call, the more success you'll have.
When I think about this, the amount of effort it takes to do that from a physical standpoint is really small, but mentally it can be a challenge. Like when you have to deal, I was calling a company and I don't want to mention the name, so I'm not going to, but it kind of killing me because their customer service. I'm one of the top agents in the United States, and I'm still on hold for an hour trying to get money transferred. We've been working on this since the beginning of December.
Yep.
Trying to get this money moved over. And so, when you think about it, you got to be willing to do what others won't to get what others don't have. So in other words, if I'm not willing to do what others won't, I'm not going to be any different. I'm going to be in the pool of everybody else.
Yep.
And I'm not saying that from a demeaning standpoint, but man, as you know, I make my own calls. I do my own appointments. I do my own follow-up. I do my own pending business. I do my own policy deliveries. And when I think about it, you have to pay for leads or find a way to get leads, get in front of someone. So now you get in front of them and now they're there when you show up. And now they listen to what you have to say. And then they decide they're actually going to go ahead and move forward with you. And then to sit there and go, okay, I'm not doing any follow-up or any pending business. You just completed all this and you're willing to throw it away because you won't do some follow-up.
Yep.
or you don't want to do a policy delivery, because I'll drive that hour and a half again to go deliver that policy.
Mhm.
Now, granted, I always try and bunch it when I'm when I'm in that area, but I still could easily just do e-deliveries all day long. But I want to physically hand deliver that and see what questions do you have. Highlight areas in the actual policy so they can see it. I want to do that, and I think laziness is by far the biggest killer of dreams.
Yep.
When you're not willing to do these things that clients need help with,
Yeah.
it's challenging.
Oh,
Yeah.
I 100% agree, Chad. I look at it from this perspective. The further you go with a client, the more you've already invested, the more
Yeah.
you should be willing to do to get the thing across the finish line. It's like, I'm not a gambler, but if/when I play blackjack, if I get dealt 11, I'm doubling every single time in hopes that I turn that 10 because there's more 10s in the deck than anything else. I may turn a 2, and
Yeah.
bummer, I'm showing 13 at that point, and I'm probably going to lose. But it's like, I've already gotten to the 11. I'm doubling down. It's like, if you get them to the point of transferring funds, double down and get the stuff done.
Well, and then you
Get
got
that across the line.
security swarming you, going, "How this middle schooler get into our casino, and how's he playing?" Like, why does he have a glass of whiskey?
Yeah.
Oh no, it's apple juice. It's apple
Yeah.
juice. Yeah.
That's
Yes,
funny.
but no, it's true. I mean, I think there's an old analogy, and granted, it's kind of a metaphor, but they shows this guy digging, and he gives up, and literally he's only 2 inches from gold. Now granted, there are people that keep digging and they never find gold. I mean, I'm not saying that's the case. That's where information is really important. But I would rather push a little farther than most to get things that most people don't, because they won't push that other step. They won't take
Yep.
that. They won't go that extra mile. It always amazes me at the Olympics. Every single year, world records are broken. Every single year. And I'm sitting there going, God, that was crazy fast when the first world record was broken 50 years ago.
Right.
Like, I couldn't even come close to that 50 years ago.
Yeah.
But every year. And why is that? Because that athlete is pushing harder and harder and harder than anybody before. Now, granted, technology's helped a lot with that. You think about, you remember back when you were like 2 or 3 years old and Rocky came out and Drago was like doing all the high tech thing. And,
Oh,
you
yeah.
remember that, right?
Yeah, the movie?
I know.
Oh, yeah.
It's way, way, way before your time. Actually, out of curiosity, though, what was that? 1985, I think. What
When
year were
Rocky
you
came
born?
out?
No, I think Rocky 4. When
Well,
did Rocky?
I'm a 90s kid.
You're a
I was born
90s
in
kid.
96.
Oh, whoa. So, yeah, that's right. Yeah, you weren't even there when Rocky came out.
No, but I've seen them. And
but
I've loved
he-
those movies.
He had the high technology and everything.
Oh, yeah.
But the funny thing was what won that fight? Was it all the technological advances they had in his training? What
Nope.
won the fight?
Rocky's heart and his willingness to
The
not
drive.
stop.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
He just wouldn't be shut down.
I find it interesting, though. He made a statement in a following movie, and he said, Drago shook things in me that should never have been shooken, and I'm still broken beyond repair. Now, in my life, I have Jesus. I can get the repair. It can be made brand new. But I do think of some of the things that, I pushed too far, and I'm going, dang, that one cost me. Like that, staying up and working an 18-hour day at times, or my longest day ever. I think, this was a 23-hour day. And, it's because I had an appointment that was 8 hours away, and I drove up there 8.5 hours away. I drove up there, drove back, but I had the appointment in the middle of it. And I remembered literally, I'm like, that broke me. Like that took a couple of days to recover from that.
Yep.
But, and
that was before Zoom, just for those of you that...
no, this was an existing client, and I thought I was going to really help them. But unfortunately, the guy was an arrogant schmuck, and he just thought he could do better with his own money. but and it turned out to not be a deal. That's one that I had a $2.5 million deal, but they had some extra money that I thought, okay, I might be able to really make a life-changing decision here.
Well, right, but
Anyway,
that was like you're talking about years ago.
Years ago, but I'm
Yeah.
saying that was a crazy day. Like that,
Right.
that was one that I said, and you're going to have that in this business. But yeah, I'd say we definitely want to keep pushing. You want to keep, you know, our industry, we know this, only 8% of people make it the first 2 years. 92% of agents fail in the first 2 years. And, you know, this is where our training comes into play.
Yeah.
You know, the Annuity Architects is one of those just a phenomenal training programs where it's not just me anymore. It's you, it's Jesse, it's Josh. You know, we have you're talking about, you know, cows and chickens, and you're trying to help people. And I'm actually talking about business and being in front of people. And
That's
Josh
funny.
is telling about how to be a drummer, little drummer boy.
Yeah.
And then Jesse's like, go Avalanche. You know, that's what, no, but Jesse obviously is our virtual expert. Josh is our business expert, and your case design and helping agents. And I'm telling you, it now is, you can get all this stuff. And it's like, I think about when I first started in the business, I didn't have that, man.
Yeah,
I
nothing
did
like that
not have
existed.
that. No, I mean, I had a good mentor, but still our styles were very different. Like he was very grandfatherly, very, you know, he just had a different style. He had the 25 million page fact finder. And I'm just going, God, like, I mean, front, back, 5 pages.
Oh yeah, the
And he
internet
would
was
go
in
over.
its infancy stages when you were getting started.
Well, there wasn't. If you, it would have been a lot funnier if you would have said the internet didn't exist.
Yeah, well,
That would have been a lot funnier. That being said, though, I do remember though when I had a friend in church and he was trying to sell me domain names, and he was trying to say, you know, this is kind of like a shopping mall, but it's on the computer. And I used to think, this guy is a snake oil guy. Like this guy is. This is not. I don't even know what the heck he's talking about. Now I sit there going, man, I wish I would have bought some domain names back then. You know, it's like, you think about the amount of money you could have made off of some of those domain names. It would have been
the trick back then would have been buying a bunch of acronyms, because that's what's really affected, you know, abc.com, aaa.com, like all, you know, the acronyms. Oof, you could have
for sure.
You could have crushed it
for sure. But you know, it is nice that we get to use technology in our industry. I mean, those who have followed me for a long time, I would say 99% of my apps now are all e-apps.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and if you would have talked to me 5 years ago, I probably
you weren't even doing
less
e-apps.
than that. Yeah, I wasn't doing it. I'd say probably even 2 or 2.5 years ago, I still wasn't doing that many e-apps. But it's allowed us to streamline things and make business run a lot easier, and pending follow-up, not making mistakes. I mean, it's just a lot better. Yeah. So, you know, it's
cool.
And
it's one of those things, Chad, that, I mean, you've been in it for what, 20 something years?
Almost 21 years.
21 years, and you've been doing it at some of the highest level really for the last decade plus.
Yeah, probably last 12 years.
Yeah. And yet here we are, and you're still refining and improving. And I think that, guys, that's the key to continued growth. I mean, there was a crazy statistic I remember calculating. I don't remember how many years ago, but if you look at Chad's production year over year from the time he started to where he is now, he's beaten the S&P 500.
That's
like
true.
Chad's growth rate has exceeded the S&P 500
by quite a bit more. And there will be no down year. There will be no crash. Period. There will not.
But the point is,
my S&P 500 is a Caleb, Josh, Jesse 500. You know, that's going to continue. Even when I'm dead, it's going to continue paying out to my family. So I need to come up with my own. You have the NASDAQ. So we have Caleb, Josh, Jesse. God, there's not even a good acronym you could do for that. So I need to figure it out. I'll create my own trading platform.
Okay. But the point is, he's been constantly improving and changing and growing and making tweaks when tweaks need to be made to continue the growth. And that's where you get the year over year improvement.
I'm doing tweaks, not twerks. Okay, let's be.
And nobody wants the torts from you. Oh man.
Well, because to me, you never arrive.
Yeah.
You always got to be better. And when I'm training people and we're building platforms, you do the same thing. You're constantly out there learning new products, learning actuarial things. How does an index work? I mean, you're doing the exact same thing. What software we can use to help our agents be able to do things quicker and better. I mean, Josh does the same thing. Jesse does the same thing. I mean, our team is stinking incredible. I mean, you got Kristen, which is the same thing. She takes care of a lot of our marketing and everything. And everybody is like, hey, I don't care what you were yesterday. It's what are you today? What are you tomorrow? And that's honestly what it takes for us to continue to succeed.
So encouragement there being, don't be one of those old dogs that can't learn new tricks, but be looking for new tricks to learn.
That old dog will be taken out to the back of the barn and shot. That's what they do in your neck of the woods.
Man, Colt's going to be 8 years old this year, Chad.
Dude, that's crazy.
Isn't that crazy?
I can't believe he hasn't taken you out to the back of the barn and shot you. So, okay,
he's probably thought about it.
I guarantee you, if I'm a human and I've thought about it, I can guarantee you a simpler mind have. Well, I hope this helps you guys. You have a great day, and of course, happy selling.